What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mistick's MMOs. I am your host, Mistick Raven. Alright, so I have a new build for my Sorc, and this is a PvE build, but I'll be honest, I really enjoy this class, I enjoy this build, and I think you guys will too. Before the buff, my weapon damage is 4,141. Weapon crit, 57. That is really nice given the fact that I'm an orc. Maximum health, 21.5. Maximum stamina, 35. Stamina recovery, 1896. When I hit the buff, I hit the pot, I go back in. Our recovery now is at 22, and our weapon damage is at 48. When I hit my hurricane and go back in, now we're at 17.8 resistance. Everything has been allocated into max stamina. We're using the Lover Mundus. It's very important because if a tank is built right, they will apply not only the major, but they'll have, the crushers enchantment. So add crushers, add your major breach for penetration, and then if you're in a, another type of formated group, you don't want to over exceed the penetration. That's very important. So this is designed to get to the physical pen at 5.5. Since we are using the Lover, we're also getting the spell penetration, which is also a boon, given the fact that our weapon enchantment is shock. And that is intentional. Why? Because we're going to apply a potential status effect. If the status effect is applied, it increases our damage. Now, also keep in mind that the axes increase your critical damage. Not critical chance, but critical damage. And that's in heavy weapons by 8%. So very, very, very important here. So I'm really enjoying this build. This is a 6-1 config, so let's get into the gear. 6 medium, 1 heavy. We're going to be using the automatons. It's going to go ahead and give us a critical status, a max stam, a weapon damage, and weapon damage. We're going to be scaling weapon damage. And orcs, due to their passives, are getting a base weapon damage. So they get brawny, they get unflinching, and then they get swift warrior. Okay, then that also applies to spell. That's another nice boon too if you're going to be swapping out potential magic abilities, given the fact that we're using the Lover. Heads up. So Orc is a really strong sorcerer all the way around, but really beneficial for the Sorc. Now, our weapons are precise. This one is glyphed with physical damage. The other one is glyphed, like I said, with shock. Both precise. We're going to be using the slime crawl set. It's going ahead and give us that 57%. Very, very important. Now on the back bar, that has dropped a little bit given the fact that we don't have our major savagery, I want to say. Buff. Up here, 1 second. Yeah, our major savagery buff. Okay. But, so slime crawl, why? Crit, minor berserk at all times. A lot of mechanics have changed. Yes, healers can apply minor berserk. I'm aware of that. This is just constant. Keeps the DPS at a constant. It's a static build. Okay. Leviathan jacket. We're going to run 6 divine, 1 infused. I put my infused on my jacket. You can have it either on the head, the jacket, or the legs, but you want 1. Okay? We're running divine, medium, slime crawl, shoulders, medium belt, medium belt, medium guard, all divine on that. Leviathan necklace. You can use the automaton jewelry. You just got to make sure you have, you know, both sets static. This is infused. You want one piece infused. Very important. It's going to go ahead and raise up that weapon damage to 262. And then we're going to use 2 robust rings with stam recovery. We will be using the dubious Kimura throne. If you want to use another food, you can. Just note that I've built around that food for this build. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into the skills. So on the bow side, we're going to be using the crit surge. No surprise. It's going to give us our major brutality. And then while active, dealing critical damage heals us for 3,300 health. Keep in mind that also is very effective when it comes to the Orc's passive as well, which is Unflinching Rage, which when you deal damage, you also heal for 2,125 health. This occurs every 4 seconds. Orc, as a Sorc, is really strong. Really strong. Okay, so we also have Poison Injection. It's not physical damage, but it adds the dot. And what dots can, you know, crit, that can affect the critical surge. Endless Hail, physical damage. Razor Caltrops, physical damage. Hurricane, physical damage. Now keep in mind, in the sorcerer's passive, I want to say Energize, we're going to increase our physical and shock damage by 5%, and then also increase your weapon and spell damage by 2% for each sorcery ability slotted. We got 4 on this side, 2 on this side. It's very important I put it on the bow side. I tried it the other way. It's just very beneficial to have it set up like this. We have our range ulti on rapid fire, not toxic, because why? It's dealing physical damage. That benefits what? The automatons. We have the Barb Trap, a nice 57 crit on an Orc. You will be critting very frequently. So you want to go ahead, add that with the Barbed Trap. Why? Because that gives us minor force, increasing our critical damage further by 10%. Okay. Now add that with the axes. That's 8. You have an 18% increase of the critical damage modifier. So you do want to use the axe. Now, if a tank doesn't necessarily have the penetration and you're starting to lose DPS, by all means get the 2H Maul as well, and then you can slot that. But you'll lose a little bit on the critical damage. But at least you'll be hitting harder because of the penetrating value. Carve. This is going to go ahead and be applied, and then our weaves are spammable because we use bound armaments. Now, bound armaments is very important because we go ahead and weave, we activate this, and then it deals 4,000 physical damage every 0.3 seconds. And while it's also slotted, it gives us a max stamina of 8% and increases our light attack by 10%. So we light weave, we activate this, carve, weave, hit. Then that allows us to also hit with an executioner, and this baby pounds on a Sorc. Very important, we use Camouflage Hunter here. That also gives us our major savagery, increasing our critical rating consistently without worrying about a pot drop off. Then we go with Flawless Dawnbreaker. Keep in mind that in the Fighters Guild passive, for every ability slotted, you're increasing your weapon damage by 3%. That's a total of 9%. So that's why we're able to go ahead and have the high crit rating on our 2H, which is important because that's our main bar. That's our main rotation bar. Okay, so very, very important. That's why we wanted to take advantage of it. Okay, and then of course, I think that's pretty much about it. It really is a nice setup. Overall, I cannot complain. This baby will not let you down. You're going to be able to complete a lot of content. Just remember, you want to go ahead and start everything on this bar. So we lay out the poison injector, lay it up, and then as soon as we hit the hurricane, switch it up, lay barb, and then we'll activate. By that time, we switch back around and we start the rotation again. Okay. Overall, I love it, and I know you guys will too. As always, I'm Mr. Craven. This is Mistick's MMOs. Thank you. Have a nice day.